Well, 2022 has been a year, so let's discuss the future plans for the Suburban. Now, before you get too worried, I'm not getting rid of the Suburban. That'll never happen, as far as I'm concerned, barring some tragic accident. But we do have a lot of plans because there's a lot of issues and things to do. I'm actually starting to get sick, it feels like, right now because, it's 2023 and people still go out when they're sick. And I naturally, working retail, pick it up. Now, the biggest issue with the Suburban now seems to be the rust. It is just surface rust, but I'd like to prevent it from getting much further than that. So we'll take a big braided wire brush and get rid of that and spray primer on it. Now, I lost my driver's mirror, and that's kind of an issue because seeing out of this thing is hard enough as it is, so we'll fix that too. I have one on order, hopefully soon. Also, the hood release doesn't work. You can pull the cable, but the hood does not pop up. You gotta give the hood a couple pops with your hand, and then it pops up. And that's mainly because of this cable having so much slack in it, so we'll fix that too. Now, two cooling system related things on this. Obviously, the heater I still haven't replaced. I don't know if I'm going to replace it in 2023 either because it's kind of a pain to do that on these trucks. But the radiator is easy to do, and as you can see, it's kind of leaking here pretty, slowly, but I don't want it to get worse. There's a big empty space right here where the console used to be. I have a big plan for that. I'm going to be putting in a dual battery system with a split charge relay, and we're going to be putting a fridge in here. And this fridge is freaking huge. So, yeah, we'll be able to live for days on this fridge. I do need to get curtains in the Suburban as well, because, you can, they're tinted, don't get me wrong, but if there's light inside, the way tint works is, the people in brighter areas cannot see in to the darker areas, but at night, if I have my light on, it's brighter in here than it is out there, so I cannot see out, but everyone can see in. So I need to get some curtains up here, which should be easy, right? On top of curtains, I need insulation for this thing. I found out very quickly when I went out in the snow that, bare metal above you makes your heater work unnecessarily hard because it has to heat not only the air in the Suburban, but also the roof. So the roof is absorbing most of the heat. Now I do need to put tires on the Suburban. I have the front tires already, as you saw in a previous video. However, I think when I do these, I might paint the wheels red because I kind of dig the red look on the Suburban, and I think with trim rings and center caps it would look pretty sick. So yeah, maybe we'll do that. Now, aside from the Suburban, real quick, I do have some non-Suburban things that I need to take care of as well. I love the Suburban, and I want to work on the Suburban, but I also have the Fiero. I actually just got it running again. I thought it was an ignition switch, but it turns out bugs got nests in two of the spark plug boots, so I cleared that out and it runs now. I need to decide if I want to keep it or not. Honestly, it's an automatic, so it's not a big loss if I decide to sell it. My dad's truck, I do need to work on that as well. I think at this point I need to take the cab off of it and remove the engine, transmission, and transfer case. I think if I was to decide now, I wouldn't use any of those things, because the engine's been in a fire and it's probably warped to hell. The transmission is, it didn't really operate correctly in the first place, and I'd prefer a 700 R4 instead of the TH350. And then the transfer case is a 203, and I'd rather have a 205, because 205s were built to be part-time four-wheel drive, whereas the 203s you had to add a kit, and that's usually full-time four-wheel drive. And they're heavy. And the 205 is just a better all-around transfer case, so I think we'll do that swap at least. Maybe a 241 or 243, I don't know. And then on top of that, I need to get the trike done, which I've already talked about doing while I'm sick. If I do get sick. It feels like it awful bad right now, but I need to TIG up the gas tank. I already have the pieces cut, and then I need to change out that front tire because that's a disaster. After that, it's simply build the sidecar and get rid of it. And then on that note, the go-kart's also ready to sell. I just haven't because I'm lazy and I kind of want to ride it more. The truck, shit truck, just really needs me to put a brake booster on it and put the engine and transmission back in it. Transmission's good to go, and the engine I just need to assemble. And I've just been putting it off, so maybe we'll do that in the coming months or weeks. But with that out of the way, back to the Suburban. Now, a big issue, I think I want to put a roof rack on this thing that's purpose-built, Not like the cheap plastic one that was on it from the factory, but like a solid 1-inch square tubing one. And I can put a water tank up there for a shower that I've actually come up with a design for with the help of the internet. Very simple design. I think 10 to 15 gallons is plenty. And then I can stay out for weeks without smelling like I've stayed out for weeks. So that'll be a big plus. And also to this roof rack, I would add lights, because one of the biggest things, like when I have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, if I'm in the middle of the forest, I don't want to walk onto like a bear or something like that, you know? And so I think having some big old off-road lights just aimed sideways out my passenger rear door would be very beneficial. I could run it off of the same battery that the fridge will be running off of, and it would charge it and all that good stuff, and I would feel a little bit safer at night. And that's it. So if you have anything I missed, let me know. Comment below. Big year ahead. And I'd like to thank you if you have watched this long. I have grown by almost 250 subscribers this year, which is obscene to me. I really appreciate that. I would really like to make this my full-time job so I don't have to work at insert retail establishment name here for the rest of my life. Yeah, thanks for subscribing, that's all I'm trying to say. And I'm not pressuring you to subscribe if you're not. And I'm not pressuring you to tell anybody about me, I'm just telling you thanks. Like, for real, thanks. But anyway, I think that's all I've got. I'm feeling pretty trash right now, so I'm going to go inside and chill. And then hopefully start on this gas tank. But you know the story, as usual. You be good while I'm gone. And I will see you next time. Have a good week.